Halfway there, we have the upper hand. We have taken objective apples.
You talked before about doors and ledges and stuff. If all else fails, just blow it away, right?
That's pretty much it. Yeah, like if there's no door for you, you can make your own door. So like pretty much everything in this game is destructible, and we're adding a whole new layer to that destruction. We wanted players to be able to be creative in their destruction, and what I mean by that is we want you to be able to pick a house asunder piece by piece. So for example, you can enter a house, walk up to the second floor, throw down some explosive ordnance on the staircase underneath you, blow that up, take that staircase out. Now no one else can actually get up onto that floor with you, and it's super cool.
We have lost objective. We have taken objective ready.
And actually, I want to mention also the way we're using the system ground information, we're calling it. Basically, how creators have a much larger gameplay impact this time around. I've seen people playing the game now. It's just like they're running around the map, the airship comes in, the huge behemoth, it starts to bomb the landscape, and it basically turns big open fields into like a Swiss cheese. So people that actually survive that bombardment, they got low health. What they do now, instead of like, trying to run for cover, they just roll into the craters that are being created, and then they can use the craters as cover as they go through. So you can sit in a crater created in crouch, and then you peek up and then fire and then go to the next crater. So you can actually create your own covers like that as well.
We didn't talk much about single player while we were at E3, but Battlefield 1 will explore ideas based on real-world historical events. The campaign features multiple protagonists telling the stories of unknown war heroes. We also didn't talk about customization, but we're promised there's a lot of that on the way as well.
We are winning. We have taken objective ready.
If you look at the technology that came in that era, it started off, in the old world with like horses and sabers and stuff like that. But as the conflict came to a close at the end, like all this big industrial era, you swept it, and it was a time of innovation. So there's so much weaponry that actually was the first time you saw it ever. So you will actually see, light machine guns, fully automatic rifles, semi-automatic rifles, small machine guns, shotguns, bolt-action rifles. So we can actually give players that Battlefield experience that they know and love, and you can pretty much cater your play style to the weapon loadout that you like. So we can actually push the pacing and keep the same pacing as you know from Battlefield.
On one hand, what Daniel's talking about is a good thing. The game plays nicely and feels snappy like a modern FPS. On the other, this is a shooter set in a completely different time period, and we were hoping for more authenticity. The visuals and the movement all feels era appropriate right up until the point where you pull out a weapon and use the same old spray and pray gunfire we've seen in every other FPS to date. Sure, it's what we're used to, and sure, it suits a certain sort of gameplay, but it felt jarring in a game that was trying so hard to create a sense of immersion, of putting us right inside the trenches. That said, it depends on what you want from your shooter. If you are able to put that bit aside, Battlefield 1 is shaping up to be a solid FPS. The First World War setting brings something new to the genre, from new maps to the new weapons to the inevitable new strategies, and of course, the game looks spectacular. It sounds like DICE has looked carefully at its earlier games, throwing out the parts that didn't work and focusing on improving the ones that did, which should make this new one a very strong shooter when it hits shelves later in the year. We're looking forward to seeing you in the trenches.
So when can we expect to get our hands on this great war?
So the game will be out on the 21st of October on Xbox One, PlayStation 4 and PC.